Hello everybody, I'm at my clinic appointment at Children's Hospital, and today I have a lot of things going on. I have to fill out this couple surveys to do with my mental health, and this one is my mental health in consequences of my nasal disorder. And they're just like documenting to see if I guess my nasal disorder correlates with my mental health, which probably does. What else? I have to see my doctor, and I have to tell her I didn't take my antibiotic that I should have taken because it gave me extreme tinnitus and I couldn't sleep. But yeah. I saw her and I told her, and I thought she was gonna yell at me, but she was actually very nice about it. And she just said if I feel like I'm starting to feel more sick, that I should just tell her and then maybe come in to the hospital and get treatment there. I have to do my lung function test to see if my lung function has increased. It increased 1% last time from Trikafta. I'm hoping it's increased 1% again, at least, from being on it for 2 months. I just did a sweat test, which is like, for some reason CF makes you have really salty sweat. And that's actually how they diagnose babies, is they make them do a sweat test, and if your sweat's all fucked up, then that means that you probably have CF. So they're checking mine to see if the Trikafta has corrected it in any way. My doctor really thinks that I should go back on the lung transplant list. Yeah, she really thinks that I should, and I trust her. I'm probably switching to adult care soon, which means I have to switch all my prescriptions to different doctors prescribing them, which is very complicated, and I don't want to do that, but I really think I should move to adult care. Yeah. I gained 3 pounds since last month, but like almost 10 pounds since like basically starting Trikafta, which is amazing. I haven't weighed this much since I was in like sophomore year of high school, since I was like literally 16 years old. So I'm pretty excited about it. I also grew 3 centimeters. 20 years old, growing 3 centimeters. I'm 5'3", but now I'm 5'3", I'm like a half. Pretty cool. Was not expecting that at all. Maybe I'll get to 5'4". Yeah. Sorry that I look like this. I'm burning hot. It's usually so cold in the hospital, but I'm like sweating and I'm so hot for some reason. Maybe the air conditioning's broken and they made me like put on a sweater and a blanket to do the sweat test. I'm just really hot right now. Sorry, and this fluorescent lighting is just like horrible. But yeah, I will film all those things and then put it in the video, and then make another video afterwards.
Normal breathing. Good job. Normal breathing. Let's get ready and go. Blast it. Right here. you have a little bit of a...
I just got back from my PFTs, which measure my lung function, and last time it was like 25, 26. Like I was consistently below 25, and then I did it one more time and I tried really hard and I got 26, which was 1% higher than usual. But I just did it and I got 30. Fuck yeah, bro. So 4%. 4% since Trikafta. That doesn't seem like a lot, but without Trikafta, it would be 4% down. It would be like maybe 20% by this point, and now it's 30, which is unbelievable. It's gonna make me so strong for transplant and to recover. I don't think it's something that is ever gonna stop transplant, because you start thinking about transplant once you're at 40%, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get back to 40%. So I think this is a really good time to have a transplant, which I weigh this much, at 30% lung function. I don't know, my doctor was like so sweet, and she just thought, she said she tells 1% of her patients this, that she thinks that I will live long after transplant because of my mindset and the fact that I want to live and that I'm not too sick to not survive. Yeah, so she's a doctor who's worked with CF kids for a long time. She sees so many, and I don't think she told really anybody else but me something like that, which makes me, you know, feel hopeful that everything's gonna be okay no matter what, even if I'm really scared. But yes. Oh my god. Whew. It's so hot. God. I told my mom that she couldn't come just because, like, when my mom's here, it makes everything 1,000 times more stressful. And I'm switching to adult care soon. I want to feel like an adult. I want to feel like this is my life, my decisions, something for just me to know. Obviously, I'll tell my mom everything that happened, but this is, you know, information that only I need to really know. And yeah, anyways. I'm sorry I hadn't posted a video in a really long time. I was just busy with all these things happening in my life, and I actually did film a video. It's a makeup video with my friend Don Juan, but he insisted on editing it, so I don't know when I'm gonna get that and post it, but hopefully soon. And it's probably gonna be pretty funny. I don't know what it's gonna be like, but yeah. So I'm gonna post this one, and I'm gonna post that makeup video whenever I get it back. I'm going through the readmissions process at UCLA to see if I could readmit myself and maybe take like either 2 classes and possibly live in the dorms if there's a room available for me. But I feel like there's like a 50% chance that there isn't a room available for me because I'm going in spring quarter, so I'm sure that they're all taken. But if there isn't, then maybe I'll take like 1 class and commute there. I just, you know, I want to be doing something if I feel okay. But I'm going to be seeing my doctors, and if I get back on the transplant list, they might not want me in class just because they don't want me to get the call and have to abandon my class. But if that happens, like, life is life. I don't really care if I have to fail that class and retake it. You know, like, obviously lung transplant's like way more important than just failing a class. And if I'm trying to live in the moment, taking a class and doing what I love is what I want to do. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'll see you guys next time. I don't know when that is going to be, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye. It's been a couple days, and I had this week I had doctor's appointments. I had 4 doctor's appointments. One day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All the stuff I filmed was from my doctor's appointment on Monday, which was my pulmonary doctor. All of the stuff I filmed was from my first doctor's appointment at Children's, with my pulmonologist. And I already told you everything that happened in that appointment, but then the next day I went to my urologist for some other random thing that I have, and then I went to my infectious disease doctor and my lung transplant coordinator. My infectious disease doctor is just the doctor I have that talks about the infection that I have, called non-tuberculosis microbacterium, which is just like a very intense infection that I got somehow. We don't know how. It could have been, it's just something that's in the air. So I had no control over whether I got it or not. It was just in the environment somewhere. I breathed it in. I got it, and it messed up everything. I cleared that infection back in, I want to say 2019, but it's possible I cleared it in the end of 2018. Yeah. And by cleared it, I mean when I cough into a sputum cup and like send it to a lab, when they look at the sputum in a microscope, they don't see any of the infection. And then they take it and put it somewhere, and then they watch the sputum closely after several weeks and see if it's grown any of the bacteria. And for a while it was culture positive and smear negative. For a while it was smear positive and culture positive, which means the smear is, they smear it and just look at it, and if they see it, that means it's smear positive. The culture positive is when they grow it and see if it grows. So for a while it was positive for both of those. Then we hit it with so much antibiotics that it became smear negative but culture positive. And then I just continued with those antibiotics long term for a really long time till it became smear negative and culture negative finally. And I kept on that regimen of antibiotics for, I want to say like a year. Like all throughout college I was on IV antibiotics. Yeah. And we just finally decided to stop the antibiotics in like the summer of 2019. So now I've been off of them for a while, and I've only been on 2 oral antibiotics, but I still haven't cultured the bug. So it's like technically eradicated, but the doctors think that because my lungs are so damaged that it's still there. It's just like in the deepest part of my lungs that I'm not able to cough up from that part of my lungs. So they can't see if it's there. Yeah, so they think that I still have it, even though technically I don't. So that's why I'm still on those 2 antibiotics. And what I talked about with my transplant coordinator is the possibility of stopping those 2 antibiotics because they don't want me to develop resistance, which means that the bacteria becomes resistant to the drugs, the medication treating them. So the antibiotics don't work for them anymore. And we don't want that to happen because we want this bug, we want to know how to kill this bug so that when I get a transplant, if the bacteria goes into my new lungs, we have the perfect cocktail to kill it. And the reason why it would go into my new lungs, even though we're taking out my old lungs and putting in new ones, I have CF in all my organs, including my sinuses. Basically, it can stay in your sinuses, and then when you get transplanted, it can like trickle down from your sinuses into your new lungs and infect your new lungs. Another reason why it could infect your new lungs is that when they literally take the lungs out of the body, the infection could spill into the chest cavity and infect the wound, which would make the wound not able to heal properly, which is really not good. That's kind of what scares me the most. It's just this wound not properly healing. That sounds horrifying. So anyways, those are things that could happen. There's actually a big chance they could happen. That's why we need to make sure we have antibiotics that we know will treat it. So that's why my doctor was saying maybe you should stop the antibiotics so you don't develop resistance. It's kind of just like figuring out the lesser of two evils, because either I stop these antibiotics and my infection does not come back, and then once I get a transplant, we restart them, and so that if it goes into my new lungs, we have something to kill it off. But if I do stop those antibiotics, it could come back and give me like chronic exacerbations and put me in the hospital a lot, as well as just kick me off the UCLA transplant list, because UCLA takes NTM cases if they're smear negative and culture positive. Sometimes, mostly when they're both smear and culture negative, but most hospitals do not take you if you're smear and culture positive. So if I were to become smear and culture positive again, I could possibly not qualify for a transplant altogether, and then I would get really sick and just die. So we don't want that to happen either. They're both like horrible options. Those options are pretty bad, but those are the options that I have. Yeah. So that's like everything that has to do with my lung infection called non-tuberculosis microbacterium. But in terms of just the general lung transplant, I am going to have it. It's just a matter of when. And my pulmonary doctor at Children's thinks that I should really go back on the list now, because she thinks I'm at like the prime spot in my life to like recover really well from this. But, and she was very adamant about it, she seemed a little concerned that I was thinking about not going directly back on the list. So yeah, but then I talked to my coordinator at UCLA, and he was like, well, if you're feeling well from the Trikafta, then maybe you don't need to go on the list right now, because lung transplant's so, last resort. And if something like this, a drug like to treat CF comes out, you should give it a chance before you get rid of your lungs altogether. Yeah, so I just don't know what to do. I just have these like questions that I'm debating whether to follow through with, or like I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. If I want to stay on the list, if I want to like wait a couple months, then go back on the list, just like wait it out, or if I want. But the other reason why I should go on the list now is because that infection that I have, that I was just talking about, is kind of like a ticking time bomb and could come back at any moment and disqualify me for a transplant. So it's like, what do I do? I don't know. But for now, what I think I'm gonna do is maybe wait a month, see where I'm at. I just feel like something's telling me not to go on the transplant list at this moment. And when I want to go back on the transplant list, I'll know. So I think I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna go back to school, see if I'm starting to feel better, see where I'm at in a couple months. Then I'll go back on the list. just gonna pray that I don't get this infection back, pray that I don't develop resistance to the antibiotics, and just hope for the best. Yeah. Sorry if I keep like looking past the camera accidentally. Yeah, I just wanted to like update you guys on what my coordinator said compared to like what my doctor at Children said. I'm switching fully to adult care, and probably like a month or so I'm switching all my care to UCLA. So that's gonna be weird. If I go inpatient, I'm gonna be at UCLA instead of Children's. I've been at Children's since I was born. It's like my second home. So to move to a different hospital is kind of like moving to a completely different house. So, and like, just switching care altogether. Switching these doctors that you've known forever is kind of like switching to a different school. So it's like a whole thing, but I feel ready to do it. I want to be in adult care, not pediatric care anymore. Sorry for rambling on for way too long. I literally just talked for 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed my video. I'm sorry it took me so long to post this. I just wanted to wait until I had these doctor's appointments to talk about something. I'm going to be posting a new video soon, a makeup video. I just don't know when it's coming, but get ready for that. Okay, thank you. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe.